Hey everybody, happy New Year's Eve. So today is the last day of the year and I wanted to talk to you about three things that I want you to do this weekend. So obviously not before tomorrow, unless you're out and about today, then you can do this. But three things I want you to try to do that will help you get a good start, a better start, hopefully, to the new year. Now, some of you already do this, so this isn't for you, but three things that I think everybody should do that help I'm not a big fan of resolutions because I think we associate that with something that falls off pretty quick. So I prefer goals and habits, but we'll get to that. So the first thing, y'all ready? The first thing I want you to do is to get a planner. Now, some of you are like the old me who literally tried every kind of planner under the planet, and I just couldn't keep doing it. But now it's literally, I've showed y'all, there's a video on Instagram, big boy planner, right? Now it's because I schedule your appointments in here. I have a code. There's no names. It's all codes. You couldn't figure out where you were in here. But, so I use it for not just my personal life, but also my professional. So that's why it's so thick. Because last year I did 2 separate planners. Not my favorite. So get a planner. Now, if you go tomorrow, like Michael's or, probably anywhere, they're all going to be half off. Sometimes they're 75% off because they can't sell them next year. They can't put them in storage. It's only going to be 2022 this year. Well, you know what I mean. So get a planner. Here's why. I want you to figure out, back up. The first thing is when you write things down, your mind quits being anxious about it. Your mind is like, oh, hey, Sydney just wrote that down. I don't have to try and remember that anymore, right? So 1, your mind goes, oh, okay, she wrote it down, we're good. 2, it actually helps you remember that. That's why we took notes in school, right? So that we could write down what the teacher was saying. They made us take notes. That helps us in the learning loop, right? It helps us close the loop because we can remember more stuff. I've told many of y'all this story. When I was a kid, I'm going to age myself. So back when we had landlines and not cell phones, and back when we had paper maps and not cell phones or not apps, even before MapQuest, some of y'all don't even know what that is, on a computer, you would have to type in the directions. Your friend would say, hey, come over, and they would give you directions to their house. Now, some of you old timers like me know what I'm talking about, but they would literally say, you go to this street and at the stop sign, you turn right onto this street. And then you go down 3 streets on the left, then you turn left or whatever, right? So you were always writing down directions to your friend's house until you figured out where they lived. So true story, this happened so often. I would write down the directions to their house. We'd get in the car, we'd go, I would forget the directions. 98% of the time, I could still remember how to get there because I was remembering oh, I wrote down this, and then I wrote down this, and then I have a visual of it too, right? It's not just words on a piece of paper. I can visualize that piece of paper. So same thing with the grocery list. How many of y'all have ever done a grocery? Now, you might not get everything on the grocery list because that's a much longer list than just quick directions. But you can get most of it, right? And then you ever get home and then you look at your grocery list and you're like, hey, I did pretty good. I got most of the things. It's because you did a list to begin with. So write things down. Now, some people don't have a lot to write down. Some people have a ton to write down. Some of you are going to say, but Sydney, I have my calendar on my phone. It's fine. Yes, that's great if you're using it. The key, I think, for the planner is I do mine a week at a time. For the whole month, I go through and write down things that I know already for the month. But for the week, I write down what is going on for that week. I do mine on Sunday. That's kind of my free little time in the afternoon to write down what I know about for the coming week, right? And then every day, and for the record, when I do that, it's not just work stuff. I also do meal planning. I plan out my workouts. I'm more likely to do them if I'm excited about them and I know what, and like if I just go downstairs and start scrolling for a workout to do, probably not gonna happen. Or I'll let myself off the hook. So I have all my workouts for the week planned out, all the meals, and all the work stuff. And so I do that every Sunday. Then every morning I get up and review what I have for that day, because things change, right? Like, I mean, y'all know, like people cancel or you get sick and people need to move their appointment, or I need to move an appointment, my kid gets sick, whatever. So every day you still have to look at it so that you can remember who you have what, when, where, what meetings you have, what is it in person, is it video? Like what do you have going on in your day? If you go to a physical office and you have a separate like work calendar, that's cool. I'm not saying you don't need a planner, and I'm not saying you need a planner. I'm saying if you're gonna use a digital calendar, make sure you're using it to actually help you, right? So many of you guys that I work with, and probably people I don't work with, struggle with feeling a sense of like groundedness and organization. And a lot of times that's because you're maybe not fully organized, or maybe like things around your house are organized, but is your mind organized? And so what I mean by that is, are you trying to hang on to every little detail of every little thing? Because good luck with that. That is much easier for younger people. It gets harder the older you get. I don't know what age that happens. I feel like it's for sure by the time you're in your 40s, because it's hard, right? All the little details are harder and harder to grasp onto. So when you can write stuff down, your mind isn't trying to remember it anymore. And it's like, we got this. We can figure that out later, right? Okay, so use a planner. I do mine a week at a time, and then I look at it every day. If you've seen me in the office, you know I have it there with me, and that's how I go ahead and get my scheduling done. It just helps me know when I have to be where, okay? I think that's it about planners. I'll kind of circle back around at the last point and mention something else that you can put with your planner. But okay, number 2, the second thing I want you to do before Monday, if possible, I want you to find what is the place in your home where you feel the most like comfortable and relaxed and happy. And here's why I'm asking. I want everyone to have one place. It could even just be a corner of a place. It doesn't even have to be a whole room. Maybe it's a corner in your office. Maybe it's a corner in your closet. Maybe it's your bathroom. Maybe some of y'all have those luxurious spa bathrooms that I aspire to have one day. What is a place in your house where you feel all those things I said, and I want you to get it ready. If you do not have a place, I want you to find a place, and then I want you to make a place. I want it to be clean. I want it to be organized, not cluttery. I want you to have stuff around you that makes you happy, that makes you smile, things that make you feel comfortable. Maybe you have like a favorite scented candle in there. I don't know. Maybe you hang a picture of your family. Maybe you have your favorite Bible verse hanging. Maybe it's like a comfy pillow that you sit on. Maybe there's a chair in there that's like your favorite chair. Whatever it is, I want you to work on finding that little place somewhere that's easily accessible. Like if it's down 3 flights of stairs in the back corner of the basement, I doubt you'll be going down there very often. But I want you to work on spending a few minutes there every day. Now, what would you do there? You can do lots of things there. Maybe you have like administrative work that you have to do that's not like client facing, if that's the kind of job you have. Maybe it's where you go in prayer and meditate. Maybe you read your Bible there. Maybe you hide from your kids there. Sorry, just had flashbacks to when my kids were little. I'm semi-hiding now. I shut my door so they think I'm working. I mean, I am, right? Maybe you just go there in the morning so you're out of bed, but you're still like waking up, resting, relaxing. Maybe that's where you go to work on your planner, right? So I want you to have a place where you can do that. I want you to you don't have to spend a ton of time, but look around your house. Are there things that you could take from another room that maybe you're not using or whatever, that make you happy, that you could go put in that space, right? But just something. Maybe it's your bedroom. Maybe it's your whole bedroom. You know, in all these, we watch a lot of HGTV and we're always hearing people talk about like your sanctuary, like your bathroom or your bedroom should be your sanctuary, which is great if you can swing that. And we got a dog and a cat and 2 kids that like to be in our bed, and they're probably in our bedroom more than we are. So bedroom's not it for us, but just think about what that is, where that could be. And I want you to just zhuzh it up a little bit. Find little things. Like Mara gave me this amazing little baby cactus. How cute is that? So I can't wait to take that to the office, because actually my desk in my office is one of my happy places. So, but maybe it's that. Maybe you have some little tchotchkes that, I was trying to look around to see if I have any other ones, but I don't. But just put some stuff there that maybe you have, like a diffuser, or I guess I already said a candle, so that's kind of the same thing. But whatever it is, that's number 2. Go find that place, make that place, spend time there every day. I want you to use that as your place. Again, safe place, happy place. If you're feeling stressed, if you're just feeling happy, if you need to feel grounded, whatever it is, I want you to go to that place. Maybe it's first thing in the morning, maybe it's last thing before bed, maybe it's when you're on your lunch break, maybe it's after you work out and you're just like, bleh. Whatever, I want you to find that place, okay? That was number 2. Number 3, okay, resolutions are out. They've been out for a while. Goals and habits are in, right? I'm sure, well, if you've watched any of my old videos from the previous years, for sure resolutions are out. Most people don't even talk about, oh, Bubba just decided to join me. I did not hide very well, did I? Resolutions, like I said, they're associated with ending, like the joke is by January 10th, sometimes January 3rd. So what I like better, and I think resolutions, they just kind of got a bad rap because we're not really good at following through. I think we do the first step of identifying what we want to change, but we don't do the rest of the steps, which we're going to talk about. So when we talk about goals and habits, it's really the same idea as a resolution, right? But the key is with a goal, you actually have like steps that you're following to get there. And same thing with habits. Habits, you're looking at, you know, there's 3 parts to a habit, right? So you have the trigger, and then you have like the routine, and then, or the response. There's, depending on what book you read, there's a million words for all these things. And then you have the reward. The reward is what keeps you coming back. So for example, how I got to my Sunday night habit of doing my planner, the reward became stickers. So I love decorating my planner with little stickers. Do I ever go back and look at them after I put them on there? No. Like, are they inspirational? Yes. But that, to me, it's about doing the stickers. It's whimsical. It's fun. I get to go buy stickers. Some planners, like the Happy Planner, I know is a brand that they sell tons of stickers. My planner this year, Plum Paper, they have stickers too. Now they're much smaller and it's very different, but I have like a whole book of stickers now. So, and all these pages aren't full, but so like that's fun for me. And that is that reward of getting to play with stickers and like looking through all my stickers and figuring out what do I want to put where. That is enough of a reward to get me to, oh, it's Sunday night. Oh, let's go do the routine. Let's go do our planner. And then the reward is stickers. Okay. So I hope that makes sense. But when you think about habits, and I've told y'all this too, 50 to 55% of our day, like one day, 24 hours, is habits. Like we are on autopilot. That's good if it's good habits. That's bad if it's bad habits, right? So we need to go through and figure out what are the habits in our life that are good that we want to keep, and what are the habits we need to change. And if you want to start a new habit, let's say you want to start a new planner as a habit. If you can stack it alongside of a habit you're already doing well. An example, Let's say you got a new prescription medication, you don't ever take medication, you have a hard time remembering to take medication, but now you have to take this medication. You'll die if you don't take it. I don't know. What is another habit that you do every day? Let's hope and pretend it's brushing your teeth, right? So maybe this is a medicine that you're supposed to take in the morning. I don't know if you're supposed to take it with food or not, but let's put the pill bottle by your toothbrush, because you already know you're going to brush your teeth every day. And so if you put the bottle by it, you won't forget because you're already going to brush your teeth. Does that make sense? So you're stacking the habit with a habit that you're already doing, and then that becomes part of a new habit. Does that make sense? So the trigger would be, oh, I see my toothbrush, I'm about to brush my teeth, let me take my new medicine. Okay. I'm trying to think of some other ones that you can do with that. If you want to start, say you want to start working out, so you need a new trigger, right? I don't know if y'all can hear that, but Bubba just like barreled through a barricade to go upstairs, and then he came back down. So he knocked over a whole barricade that we put up. I apologize for my rambunctious dog who wants to say hi. So if you want to work out, you need a trigger. So maybe that trigger would be to see your workout clothes. So if you lay your workout clothes out the night before, like let's say you're going to work out in the morning, then that can become your trigger. Oh, there's my workout clothes. So then the response would be, okay, I'm going to go work out. And then you have to have a reward. So I've told y'all this before. My husband and I, it's coffee. Oops. Still drinking my coffee. We already worked out this morning. We've already taken a shower. I'm actually still just sipping my coffee from probably an hour ago at least. So that's our reward. We don't drink the coffee unless we work out. Now that's not always true. If it's planned and we know, then that's fine. We can still have coffee. But that, like, we really look forward. That first sip of coffee after a hard workout is quite amazing. So anyways, you stack it with something else that you're doing. If you already lay out your work clothes or your clothes for the next day, then laying out your, workout clothes, not a big deal. You're just adding it to that. So lots of things you can do there for habits. Goals are similar if it's an ongoing goal that you have, something you always want to do. Let's say flossing. I have historically not been a good flosser. And I think I justified it by saying I never had any cavities as a kid. No, I get them all the time now. But as a kid, I never had any cavities. And I didn't floss. So I'm like, I don't need to floss. They're just making that up, right? No, it just caught up with me later. And it's mostly genetics. So let's say you want to start flossing. So that needs to be a habit versus a goal. Like, your goal can be to create the habit, but that's something you want to do forever, right? Like, a goal is different in the sense that there's usually like an end date because you achieve it and then it's done. A habit is something that you just want to be able to do forever. So let's say you want to start reading your Bible. You want to do that, I'm assuming you want to do that forever. So you need to create a habit that is reinforcing that. Whereas a goal might be, short-term or long-term. Maybe it's work-related. Maybe it's something personal. Maybe you want to redecorate the house. Maybe you want to get some landscaping done. Maybe you have a financial goal you want to set. There's so many things it could be, obviously. So think about, what do you want that goal to be? Does it need to have a timeline? So have y'all all heard of SMART goals? I hope you have. If you haven't, Google it, because I don't want this whole thing to be about SMART goals. But some goals do need to have a time limit, right? Like, if you're going to landscape your yard, there's a time when the weather's not going to be, it's not a good time to go landscaping right now because it's December 31st. So like October, November, depending on the winter. This has been a very mild winter so far here. So there's going to be a limit that's going to be forced on you. But also, like, at work, if you're working on some goals, there might be a limit based on work. Like, maybe it's the year end, maybe there's a project due, whatever. So sometimes there are time limits. Sometimes there don't need to be time limits. Maybe if you have a goal to, super most common one for New Year's is to lose weight, maybe you don't need to have a time limit on that goal. Because then if you don't meet it, you feel super defeated. And then usually we stop altogether instead of keep going even though we pass the time limit. Does that make sense? So don't always, as much as I love SMART goals, don't always think you have to have the time part on it, because sometimes these goals will take longer than we think. And sometimes we need to give ourselves grace with that, okay? But, it does need to be measurable. Like, how will you know if you met your goal? It needs to be realistic. Like, if your goal is to buy a new house in the next year, if there's no houses to buy, that might not be a realistic goal, okay? So keep that in mind. Like, it has to be something that is actually doable. I'm trying to think if there's anything else about goals. How do you reach a goal is something that's also important. Is sometimes you have to take the big end goal and break it down into smaller chunks. So I see that, I talk to a lot of students, college or high school, about like they have this big project that's due and that is overwhelming. And so they freeze because they get paralyzed by just being overwhelmed by how much there is to do. So I would talk about chunking it out. I don't have any sticky notes, so I just have like little squares. But what I would do is I would take down, what are the parts of this? So even like if you get a syllabus in college, what are the parts to this that I need to focus on? And write down however many and make each one of those like a little baby goal. So if you need, 3 or whatever, then write those down in order. And then you're not looking at the big end goal anymore. You're focusing on each little goal along the way. I hope that makes sense. But chunk it out. Don't let yourself get overwhelmed by the big end goal. So like for today, I have a ton of notes I need to do because I'm trying to get them done by year end. I can't think about how many total. I break it down by week. Oh, I have this many notes to do for this week. This many notes to do for this week. That probably doesn't make sense to y'all because y'all don't know what I'm talking about. But break it down into smaller pieces so it's much more doable and you can stay focused. The other thing I would say about goals is remember that it's easier to keep momentum than motivation. Motivation is much more fleeting, right? It's hard to get motivated. It's why we even need to set goals and resolutions to begin with, right? So if you can keep momentum going, that an object in motion stays in motion, right? Okay. So I know there's a lot more to that, but so if you can just keep going, taking those baby steps, hitting those little baby goals, it is much easier to get things accomplished. If you're waiting to feel motivated, good luck. Most of us feel super motivated for a super short period of time, and then it's gone. And then we have to wait until we get super motivated again, right? And every time we lose that motivation, it like breaks us a little bit, right? Because we feel like we failed, we feel like we've disappointed ourselves, maybe someone else. Stop that. Try and keep momentum, not motivation. Okay, the last thing I was going to say, remember I said on planner, I might circle back around after I've talked about habits and goals. It's not a bad idea, and there's lots of planners out there that incorporate goals and habits into their planner. It is not a bad idea to track that somehow in your planner. If it's on the calendar page, there's like, there's always days. Now, of course, I'm going to try and show y'all January, and it probably won't be, but there were a few. There's always days on the monthly calendar that aren't used because they always have to put like 5 weeks worth, right? And there's only like 31 days in the month. So it's okay. Like maybe use those empty spaces to write down some kind of goal habit tracking. And again, not necessarily the big, huge goal. Maybe it's just the little ones. Maybe it's like, break it down into something you can focus on just for that month. Now, I will show you what I did for mine. So again, this is like a personalized planner I did plum paper this year. But at the beginning of each week or at the weekly section, I did put in, so I can show you all this, a built-in habit tracker. So this was customizable. So I put that in there. So I can write down however many habits that is that I want to track. Now, is the goal to have 100%? Sure. Is that always realistic? No. things are going to come up where you cannot do all of your habits every day. For example, my parents were here for the holidays. They stay in our basement. We have a whole ensuite in the back basement, but that's also where our workout equipment is. I couldn't get up at 5 and 6 o'clock in the morning and go work out when they're still in bed asleep, right? I guess I could. I felt like that would be rude, so I didn't do that. So I had to shift my habits and try and do it at different times. So working out in the afternoon or working out at night. Luckily, I was off a lot over the holidays, so that kind of worked out. But be graceful with yourself if you don't get it 100%. The goal is to create a new habit. It's not to create a new habit as fast as possible necessarily, okay? There are, if you go to Etsy, or maybe you even know someone, there are literally a million habit trackers out there for anything and everything. And they have them where you color them in, they have them where you just check them off. They have them digital, they have them paper. If you like the idea of seeing your progress for a habit, or maybe it's even a goal, go check it out. There's maybe even some free ones. I don't know. I have mine as part of my planner, and I'll tell you one of mine, which I've already done a few times this week. In fact, I need to mark off today's, is to exercise 60 minutes a day. Now, y'all have heard me say, I am not exercising necessarily for the physical benefit. I am exercising to help me stay mentally focused and healthy. And it helps because I do burn calories that I then go and consume in other forms of passion. But that is one of mine. Oh, I can just mark that off for today and yesterday. Gratitude and prayer is one of mine. Drinking enough water. I'm really bad about not drinking enough water. Even though I sit there and drink water all day with you guys, I don't drink enough. So it's because I talk a lot. So that's why it's something I want to track, because I'm not good at doing it because so much of my job requires me to do some talking. So those are the kinds of things that you can put on a habit tracker. A friend of mine has one that she did that's for exercise. I think it's for steps. I'm trying to remember. I don't know if it was 1,000, but so that she did 1,000 squares on a page, and it makes it looks like a maze. And once you get to every 50, she has a little word of encouragement on there, you did it, or good job, or keep going. And so you could use that. Maybe you want to exercise a certain number of minutes. Maybe you want to walk a certain number of steps, whatever it is. You can track all of that. And if that becomes your reward, if checking off that box or coloring in that box becomes your reward, even better, right? Because then you're reinforcing the habit. It's not a wheel, habit process, habit loop. You're reinforcing that, and you're more likely to keep doing it. I hope this makes sense. But I encourage you, if you so some of the planners, I think is it Staples that has, maybe it's Office Depot, which is now also Office Max. It's very confusing. They have planners that have the, I don't have one handy. I can grab y'all. It's like the Happy Planner, where you can take the paper and stuff in and out because it has the discs that are punched. I have one of those punchers. And so for years I had a planner where I could put a, my own forms in it, my own trackers, whatever. So highly encourage you to connect your habits and your goals to your planner, because again, remember, your planner is something you're going to look at every single day. Now you can also do sticky notes around your workspace, in your car, whatever works for you. But I love, if you will use a planner, the way that I'm describing it, it will really help you stay focused and stay consistent with what you are trying to accomplish, because you're there looking at it every day. Now, if you are one of those people who after 2 weeks of using the planner, something happens, there's a big weekend, Martin Luther King weekend, no school for 2 days, at least for here, it throws you off, it's okay. It is okay. Perfection is not the goal when it comes to this stuff, right? It's just a planner. But it will help you feel more grounded. It will help you feel more consistent, and it'll clear up some of your mental space, okay? All right. So we've talked about getting a planner, That'll really help with maybe even physical organization, but mostly like the mental organization, right? We've talked about having a clean, happy space where you can go to get away or to start your day, whatever. Work on that. You can do that. That helps physically and mentally, right? And spiritually. And then goals and habits. We talked about that too. Resolutions are out. Goals and habits are in. Think about that. Take some time today. Hopefully most of you are off today. It should be a holiday. If it's not, I know it's not always, but even if you don't get around to this till tomorrow, which is New Year's Day, take the time. Think about what you want to accomplish. What do you want to do? Maybe you want to work on not doing so much, right? Y'all have probably also heard me talk about we're human beings, not human doings. Maybe your goal is to rest more. Guess what? You can schedule that in your planner. Okay, so think about that as well. And then again, if you can figure out a way to coordinate that, and maybe you take your planner to your happy place and that's where you kind of get focused for the day. I think that would be amazing. So, all right, you guys, I just realized this has been over 30 minutes. I hope it's been helpful. If you have watched it all the way to here, kudos to you. Gold star. I'm going to go upload this to YouTube. We'll push it out to the website today. If you have questions, shoot me an email. Click the, I'm trying to think. So if you're watching it on the website, then if you go back to the homepage, there's a way to reach out through email. It'll shoot me an email. Or if you already have my information, you can call or text me. If you want a response, don't call, not over the holiday, but text or email me if y'all have questions about how to do this. If you're already a client, we can absolutely talk about this in session if that's something you feel like you need help with and that you really want to work on this year. And if not, that's okay too. You might have deleted this video after 2 minutes. I don't know, but all right. I love you guys. Happy New Year. Hopefully this one will be a little better than the last couple, right? We've had a few, it feels like fall starts, but fresh start. We're going to try again. I'm sure y'all have seen the funny memes that talk about no one claim this as your year. We're all going to just walk quietly into the room and behave ourselves. So that's kind of how it feels. But I think there's still a lot of things that we can do that are in our control that can make our life and our situation a little better. So there you go. All right. Happy New Year's. Bye, guys.